the terrace of Rosa. Look at this. Little Tiana Glauca. I've got this. I've played quite a few of
No, Pippa. I don't want you. Come on.
Hello, you little thing.
Now this is a great find. This is quite a rare plant. It's Regersia podophylla, but it's the Krug Colossus, and it's named that because it was collected by Krug farm from Honshu in Japan. And what's amazing about this plant is the leaves will get absolutely enormous. It's called Colossus, and with good reason. They're huge, great leaves you get on this. And I've got some other Regersias. In fact, I've got 3 or 4 types in the garden, but this will be by far the biggest. It's Colocasia esculenta, but it's the Blue Hawaii version. Now, it will get quite big. It'll get to over 1 metre tall, but it's not hardy at all, and you have to keep it anything below 10 degrees and it'll have to come in. Now, they're a wonderful plant, and the leaf has this just terrific a pattern on it, and it will go a bit glossier than this later on when it gets bigger. But the problem is with these is overwintering them. They're very difficult to overwinter. We had one last year, but unfortunately it died, and we're going to try again this year with a slightly different technique. Now this plant is one of the begonias, and you can get ordinary begonias which have a sort of glossy leaf very similar to this, and the leaves on an ordinary begonia will get about this sort of size, and they have like a purple flower on in the spring. But this one is Ciliata Wilton, and it's the variety of these leaves will get very, very big, and their leaves are also hairy. When you touch them, they feel there's tiny little hairs on there. It's got quite an unusual texture, and they like a partial shade position, and they are hardy. Even though it's quite a soft stem and leaf, they are hardy, and they will stay evergreen. If it's a mild winter, they will stay evergreen. If it's a cold winter, then they'll lose their leaves and come back like a perennial the following year.
Yeah.
Now, if you're buying a palm, the hardiest palm that you can get is the Trachycarpus fortunei. But Trachycarpus, there's different varieties of Trachycarpus, and one of them is the Trachycarpus princeps, which is has a very silvery leaf, and it fans out more than the ordinary Trachycarpus fortunei. But what this one is a cross between the two. It's a hybrid. So it has the hardiness of the fortunei, the ordinary Fortunite, and it spreads, it has the sort of spreading fanning effect and slightly bluey silvery leaves of the Princeps. Uh, Now, because it's not a true Princeps, it's you get a bigger one for the same price. If I was to buy a true Princeps, it was a purebred Princeps, it'd only be this high, and it would be a few years behind this one. But they're very slow growing, and I don't think I'm going to live long enough to see a tiny one get to a full maturity, because they're not the fastest growing of the Trachycarpus. But look at these leaves. Now this is another rare find. Quite pleased we got this one. It's Pteris ambrosa, or the jungle brake fern. It's from Australia. It'll get about a metre high, and it's not frost hardy. You have to protect it in the winter and bring it in. Now this is quite an interesting one. It's a catalpa, and it's one of the Indian bean trees. Now, when people think of Indian bean trees, they tend to think of the one with the yellow leaves, which is what a lot of tropical people have in their tropical gardens. But this one is Eribescens purpurea, and it has a purple leaf. And the great thing about this particular variety is it will tolerate a clayey soil, it's a bit more tolerant than the ordinary yellow ones. And what happens with them is that it's another one, a bit like the Polonia, where you have to pollard them, because this will get huge. This will get 40, 50 feet tall. So what you do is you let them get to the height you want, say 10 feet, just let them grow up to 10 feet. And at the end of the year, cut them down to maybe sort of 7, 8 feet, and let them grow on the following year from that. But keep them contained, else you'll have something which will completely dwarf your whole garden. And what they do is, when they see, the interesting thing with them, if you let them go big, is that they make these great big long seeds, huge, great foot-long seeds. But I don't think we're going to let this one get to that sort of size. It's mainly for the foliage, really. And the thing is, when you keep them cut small, that's when you get the big leaves.